Time on market sends a signal. Notice this. A listing ignored for 90 days starts attracting lower offers. In a normal case, compare showings, feedback, competing listings, photos, repairs, and price changes after the first weeks. A familiar case is a listing ignored for 90 days starts attracting lower offers. A high price can block serious showings from the start. Buyers compare better homes at the same price. A real estate choice is safest when the monthly payment is not the only number being checked. The cost becomes visible when buyers compare better homes at the same price. Bad photos reduce interest. Online listing photos create the first showing. In practice, dark rooms and clutter can make a good home invisible. A safer property decision checks more than the monthly payment. The mistake grows when time on market can create doubt, even when the original issue is fixable. Condition problems can scare buyers before they even make an offer. Visible repairs make people imagine hidden costs. Water stains, cracked tiles, peeling paint, or old wiring can create negotiation pressure because buyers start wondering what else has been neglected. Sometimes the repair itself is small, but the signal feels large. A home that looks poorly maintained may sit longer because buyers price in uncertainty, not just the visible repair bill. The issue begins with layout can limit buyers. Awkward rooms or missing bedrooms narrow demand. Concrete case. A beautiful home with no practical work area may lose families. That situation shows why price, presentation, repairs, showings, location objections, and buyer confidence deserve attention before anyone chooses a response. Location objections are real. Noise, parking, schools, or commute can hold a property back. Notice this. A house near a busy road needs the right price. Location must be priced honestly. Here, a listing priced above better nearby alternatives shows why price, presentation, repairs, showings, location objections, and buyer confidence matter more than a vague summary. Listing during slow seasons or rate shocks can reduce traffic matters because it changes what happens next. The strain shows up when buyers pause when mortgage payments suddenly rise. Access problems hurt showings. Hard viewing schedules reduce buyer opportunities. A safer property decision checks more than the monthly payment. The property has to be tested through location, financing, condition, and time horizon. Weak description misses buyers. Generic listing copy fails to explain strengths. Real case. A home near parks and transit should show that clearly. Marketing should match buyer priorities. A safer property decision checks more than the monthly payment. Seller emotion delays adjustment makes the topic concrete. Owners may anchor to memories or desired profit. Imagine the price reflects what they need, not what buyers pay. Market value is not personal value. At the decision point, compare showings, feedback, competing listings, photos, repairs, and price changes after the first weeks. Rumors or failed inspections can follow a listing. Common case. Buyers ask why the last deal collapsed. Transparency can rebuild trust. The earlier it is recognized, the less power the pressure has. Some homes are hard to finance because of condition, title, or building issues can decide whether the situation stays manageable or becomes expensive. Cash-only listings reduce the buyer pool. The pattern is visible when cash-only listings reduce the buyer pool. It shows why homes sit unsold when price, condition, marketing, timing, or buyer confidence do not match. A careful person would compare stale photos with overpricing before deciding what the situation actually means. The small detail to notice is repair objections, especially when nearby competition is happening at the same time. New listings nearby can make an old one look weaker. Version. A renovated home at similar price steals attention. Sellers must watch fresh comps. The specific clue is a listing priced above better nearby alternatives, which points back to price, presentation, repairs, showings, location objections, and buyer confidence. In everyday terms, overpricing matters when it changes what someone spends, avoids, accepts, delays, or repeats. The clearest entry is price cuts need strategy. Small repeated cuts may look desperate without reaching the right band. Concrete case. One meaningful adjustment can restart interest. Pricing changes should be decisive. When it matters most, compare showings, feedback, competing listings, photos, repairs, and price changes after the first weeks. The difference between repair objections and nearby competition can explain why two similar situations lead to different outcomes. Staging can clarify use. Empty or crowded rooms can confuse buyers. Think of a small room shown as an office may suddenly make sense. Help buyers imagine living there. A real estate choice is safest when the monthly payment is not the only number being checked. The topic becomes real when hard showings affects the next choice, bill, conversation, or risk. Showing feedback reveals whether price, condition, or marketing is the issue. If multiple buyers mention the same repair concern, the seller has useful information, not just criticism. After the first few weeks, compare showings, feedback, competing listings, photos, repairs, price changes, and mortgage rate pressure together. A home that sits too long needs a new reason for buyers to reconsider it. Price, presentation, access, and objection handling all affect that reset. Investors see stale differently. Long market time can attract bargain hunters. Seen when a seller waiting too long may face aggressive offers. Delay can reduce leverage. The cost shows up when time on market can create doubt, even when the original issue is fixable. A listing can become stale when buyers believe the seller is unrealistic or that previous visitors discovered a hidden problem. The pressure is clearer when read when nearby competition is treated as evidence, not background noise. A home that sits too long is usually sending a signal. Price, presentation, access, location, repairs, timing, or buyer confidence is not lining up. The owner's job is not to hope harder. It is to identify which signal buyers are reacting to and correct the weakest part first. The seller should compare actual competing listings, not the price they hoped the home would deserve. Fresh photos, repaired objections, cleaner pricing, and easier showings can change how buyers interpret the same property. A home stays unsold when buyers keep finding a reason to choose another option or wait for a lower price. The cause may be weak photos, difficult showings, needed repairs, stale pricing, rising mortgage rates, or better homes nearby. The easiest mistake is to ignore stale photos because it looks minor until overpricing makes the cost visible. A home usually sits too long because buyers see a mismatch. The price asks for one story, but the photos, repairs, location, or market conditions tell another. A familiar case is a listing priced above better nearby alternatives. A stale listing usually means buyers keep finding a reason to wait. The seller needs to remove doubt, not only wait for the perfect buyer. The market rarely rewards waiting if the same problem keeps sending buyers to competing listings. What looks like a personal flaw may simply be overpricing interacting with hard showings. The fix is not always a dramatic price cut. Sometimes it is better presentation, clearer disclosures, easier access, repaired objections, or a price that finally matches what buyers can compare nearby. The reason may be price, repairs, photos, access, location, market timing, or a better nearby option that makes the home feel overpriced by comparison. Once a listing sits too long, buyers may assume something is wrong even before they visit.